Hello folks, welcome to Spencer's Bookshelf in the 11th installment on my YouTube channel. I'm so excited for you guys to join me today. I'll be reviewing the book The 4-Hour Workweek by Tim Ferriss. I actually read it on my Kindle. It's a very interesting book. It's actually definitely one of my more favorite self-help books and something that I think there's a lot of concepts we can all take from in that book itself. So before I begin, I just want to say please like and subscribe. At the bottom, I want to grow this channel. I want to get people reading. Reading's important. It allows you to expand your mind, especially in this day and age where there's a lot of things going on in the world. I think the more we read, the more we can understand other people's perspectives, and that can get us becoming a better and better society itself. So today we're gonna review the 4-Hour Workweek. It's an interesting title. I'm sure the title makes you think, oh, how do I work 4 hours a week? The title is catchy, but the concepts are important. And you may not be able to work a 4-hour work week, but you can definitely change things in your life to make you have time to be able to do the things you want to do. So firstly, I'll just talk about, so in the video today, I'm going to talk a bit about the 4 different sections that he has in the book and some of the concepts he talks about. I'm going to talk about my own perspective of those concepts, and at the end of the video, I'm going to give it a star rating. Alright, so the 4-hour work week. So again, as I mentioned, he divides it into 4 sections, and he explores what he calls lifestyle design. So basically what he means by lifestyle design is taking control of time and reducing the time you work so that you can have a better life. And that's important. So his first section, he says, D is for definition. So that's important to be able to define your life before you start wanting to know how to, or before you start really taking on the other concepts that he has to reduce how much you work and things like that. So when it comes to defining your life, first thing he wants you to realize is you are working yourself to death. Whether you're working 40 hours a week, 30 hours a week, 50 hours a week, even though other people are working the same amount as you and are working hard, you are still using most of your time to work and less of your time to be able to do the things you want to do. So once you first grasp that you are working yourself to death, and this is a pretty broad statement. I mean, it's he says majority of the population is doing that. You need to also then define what you want out of life. So do you want to travel more? Do you need to spend more time with family, with loved ones? Do you have hobbies that you are not doing as a result of working 40 hours a week or 60 hours a week? And that's the thing too. You need to figure out what you want out of life, and a lot of people don't do that, and it's very important. Once you've realized that, you also want to look at your job itself, and this is an important concept which he brings into the book. It's called relative income. So I'll just give an example. I'll use a rounded number. So say you make $100,000 a year and you work 50 hours a week. Your baseline per hour income will be a certain amount. But if you earn $50,000 a year and you work 10 hours a week, your baseline income will be per hour will be double what it would have been for the $100,000 case. So what he's trying to say is what you make per year is not your relative value. It's what you make per hour that is. And once you realize that what your value is per hour, and you're able to realize that concept, that's when you can start making the move to working less. So he also talks about retirement as being a very problematic sort of concept. The idea that you're working until you're 60 and then you stop working and then you try to hammer in as much travel and fun stuff until you're 75 and then you slow down and then at some point you're in an old folks home and things like that. He brings into perspective something called mini retirements. And actually, one of my good friends, Ruel in Victoria, he's already implemented this quite a few times where he'll work for 2 or 3 years and then quit his job and travel for 3 or 4 months. Maybe move after that to another location, work for a while, quit his job, travel again. And I think that that's an important thing, is being able to take advantage of doing things when you're younger and being able to do the travel, the hobbies, and things like that before you are in your 60s and 70s. I mean, granted, that's a hard thing to do. Not everyone can do that. But he says that's why, if you can't, you need to think of yourself as being retired right now. So I'll backtrack a bit and say that retirement's definitely different now than it was before. I work as a financial planner. I know that a lot of people who are in their 60s and 70s, they don't want to be doing nothing in retirement. They tend to work, they tend to volunteer, they tend to do other things like travel and stuff like that. And if you look at your life and your relative income and realize, oh, I can live off of my relative income for 20 hours a week, well, why don't I do that? And it's almost like I'm retired already. Because, yeah, you're still doing stuff, but you actually have control over your life and control over your time. And that's a key concept in this book, is time. Time is everything. It's the most important aspect of your life, because when time's out, who cares how much money you have? It doesn't matter. So he also says too that, yeah, you should be reducing your work week and also looking at things like remote work and outsourcing work. So the second section he talks about is, he calls it E is for elimination. So in this section, he illustrates the techniques for eliminating most of the regular mundane activities in your day so that you can get more stuff done at work. And that's the key concept to reducing your hours and increasing that relative income. So he talks about the 20-80 rule, which is not something he invented, but other professors and self-help gurus have talked about the 20-80 rule. And that really is that 80% of your productivity, 80% of your, say, sales, if you're in sales and things like that, comes from 20% of your activities. So the idea is you want to be doing that 20% all the time so that you have that time back to be able to do other things. He also says another way to eliminate time is to stop multitasking. That's a very important thing where we waste a lot of time, like everyone does, in work and things like that. He uses concepts like checking your email just twice a day, like 10 o'clock, 4 o'clock every day when you're at work, because then you're able to get more stuff done. You're able to increase that relative income. He also talks about forcing yourself to end your day at 4 p.m. Or end your week on Thursday. So even if you have to work Friday, use that as a do-nothing day and focus on developing yourself. And that's important because you're going to be more productive if you condense your productivity. Humans can't just be productive all the time. And if you control your unproductive time, you're able to then be more focused on your productive time, to be able to get more stuff done and again increase your relative income itself. So that's a very important aspect. He also says another good thing to do from time to time is go on a 1-week media fast. So it's not just the social media, but reducing all media, newspapers, non-pleasure TV, non-pleasure books. Like if you're reading to get information and to sort of expand your mind, which is what you should be doing, maybe for that week, read a fiction novel and make yourself feel, give your brain a break. And that's an important aspect to productivity and reducing, again, the relative income. In the third section, he talks about automation. So basically, this section's a bit problematic, and I don't think it's feasible for majority of the population. But he talks about trying to find a way to quit your job and be what's called a no value added entrepreneur. So an entrepreneur that's essentially like a middleman, and you're able to set up a business, or he wants you to be able to set up a business where you're making a lot of passive income and you're really doing nothing. That's really hard. I know there's people, for instance, YouTubers, and other groups of people who are able to do that, but it's few and far between. And I do think that it's good that he talked about this in the book, but I'm not sure that that actually is feasible, and that can be a problematic, I think personally, in terms of um, giving people that hope that they can do the other concepts in the book. And then the fourth section is, he says, L is for liberation. So once you've actually been able to reduce your hours, been able to implement the concepts of productivity, understanding your relative income, and reducing your hours and increasing your relative income, then you have time. Then you can actually do what you need to do. And it's important. One thing he says is it's important to have an idea of what you want to do, and not waste that free time that you just were awarded through your efforts of reducing your product or increasing your productivity and increasing your relative income. So yeah, that's the book in a nutshell in the concepts. I really liked it. I mean, I think that it's important to, and I think this is something that a lot of people don't, especially in your working years, especially in your 20s, 30s, and 40s, where you're really trying to build your career and build a name and build a brand for yourself. You kind of lose track of life and the beauty of life, the beauty of traveling, the beauty of being able to do what you want to do. And the aspect that time is really everything, and being able to get that time back, I think is something that this book really stresses, and I think is a really good thing. I personally, I mean, I love my job. My job's like the best job. I like, I'm not gonna lie, I have an amazing job, and I don't even feel like I work most of the time because I just love what I do. But I'm a rarity. I think a lot of people get frustrated with what they do, or they don't have the freedom that I have in my job and things like that. And I think that this book is a good way to step back and be like, okay, what do I need to do to be able to do the things I want to do in life? And what do I need to do to be able to have my life organized and productive in a way in which I can actually do these things like travel, fly an airplane, or fix up a 1960s car, or something like that that makes you really feel like you're living. And that's important. I mean, we have one life. One life. And you can't have regrets. And that's one thing where more and more for myself, I want to make sure I have no regrets, which is why I'm in the job that I love, that I make sure that I'm meeting my goals of running full marathons, or I'm going to be running the Mantario Trail in 3 weeks with my buddy Sam, and just doing crazy things. And I think that this book sort of allows you to realize that those are the most important things in life. Yes, work is important. Making a living is important. But you can make a living in a way in which you can expand what you can do in the rest of your life. So I'm going to give this book 4 to 5. And the reason being, it's a great book. Writing style was excellent. It was a very easy read. I flew through it. I really think it was an eye-opener book for me. I mean, I do feel like I use a lot of the concepts. One of my closest friends, again, Ruel, has talked about those concepts to me before. So I was quite aware of how, or a lot of what Ferriss was trying to say. But at the same time, too, it did make me reflect on, am I doing what I want to do outside of work? Am I putting the time and effort into the goals that I want to have, and things like that, and things that I put on the back burner because I don't think I can do it right now? And frankly, and to quote Duran Duran in their last album or 2 albums ago, their album was called All You Need Is Now. And I think that that's something that's very important, and that's something that Ferriss talks about. That's his concept in the book. All you need is now. All you need is time. And time is everything. So yeah, 4 to 5. Thank you so much for joining me today. It's a beautiful Sunday here in Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada. Please again subscribe, like. I want to grow this channel, and I want to get you reading. I want your mind expanded, and yeah, thanks. There'll be a new video out soon. Gonna decide on a book in the next day or so that I'm gonna plow through, and another book review is coming your way. Haha. Have a good day.